Okay, everybody, we are back. This is the kind of the final step. I'm going to combine the making and the frying of these egg rolls just to kind of conserve a little bit of time. For the frying, of course, I have a small pot of oil. Not much oil is in there. I'd say it was probably about 1.5 to 2 inches. Not much more to really do about 2 egg rolls at a time. Got a small little platter here with some paper towels just to kind of absorb the fat once they come out of the fryer. I've got a little salt because I'm going to want to season them with a little bit of salt. I've got my filling right here, which was in the refrigerator for about a half an hour or so. And I did periodically go in and just kind of give it a little stir just to kind of cool it off because I know that the top was cooling a little more. And then I have a little dish of water here, and then off camera, I've got my egg roll wrappers, okay? And what you're going to want to do with your egg roll wrappers is please make sure that you keep them covered. So what I've got off camera is I've kind of unwrapped the plastic a little bit so I don't have to wrap it and rewrap it every time. But I do have a kitchen towel that I'm draping over it because it will dry out and the ends will kind of get brittle and crack. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to start. If you'll notice, there's two sides to the egg roll as far as the color is concerned. There's this frosted side that has cornstarch on it, and then there's the opposite side, which does not. I want to fill the egg rolls so that the cornstarch side is at the bottom, okay, or on the outside. All right, so I'm just going to kind of give this a little stir just to make sure everything is kind of stirred up. I also went back through too and I retested the seasoning, and I found that I needed, for my liking, a little more salt, and I added just a little bit more white pepper to it. And that's, what I added. Feel free, again, you're going to be making your own, so feel free to season it, the way that you'd like. Okay, so I got a little fork right here. I'm going to take a little bit of that cabbage filling, okay, and I'm going to place it right somewhat in the center, okay, like that. Really, to be honest with you, there's not much difference between making an egg roll and making a burrito, except, again, one is square versus round. So what I want to do is bring my ends in first like this, okay, to kind of create an envelope, if you will. And then I'm going to bring this end like this because I want to make sure, maybe a little more filling. Maybe a little more filling. There we go. Because it will compact. Okay. We are going to be frying these, so we want to make sure that the ends, there's no holes in it. So I'm just kind of bringing it like this, bringing this end over like this so it looks a little bit like an envelope. Okay, keeping everything tucked in and then rolling forward. Roll forward, roll forward, roll forward until I get to the tab. And I'm just kind of making sure everything is tucked in. I want to wet the corner, okay? Make it sticky with the cornstarch and then roll the egg roll forward, okay? And make sure that it seals. So just like that. Like I said, just like a burrito, okay? And I'm just going to set that off to the side. And then I'm going to go ahead and make another. So I grab my paper, okay? Place it down. There we go. I want the cornstarch again to be on the opposite side because it's the cornstarch that helps hold everything together, seal it. All right. So a little more filling. There should be enough filling that you could make, I would say, anywhere between 10 to 12 egg rolls. You did get 12 wrappers, so you can make them a little smaller if you'd like. So again, you bring it in like that. Bring this end in, okay? And just like you were making a burrito, if you've ever made a burrito, I'm going to just wet that front tab. Keep everything nice and tight. Not squeezing too hard because I don't want to rip my egg roll wrappers. and then gently roll forward. Okay, so there's another one, just like that. That's a good size, actually. All right, let's go ahead and we'll get another. So again, there's the powdered side, so the powdered side goes down. Get a little more filling. Okay, place it in the center, just like that. I do have a small side towel off camera when I'm wiping off my hands. Okay, so ends in. Okay, and then bring that forward, and then gently roll. And I'm just, again, keeping everything tucked in. I want to make sure that the ends don't have any little holes in them, because I don't want the oil to get in. Once I get to the tab, wet with my fingers, roll forward. Okay, I'm just gently walking it forward. And if I notice the tab doesn't quite close all the way, I'll just wet it and then just bring it forward like that. Okay? And then I'll just set it right there. And let's go ahead, we'll do one more. One more. Now let's see. It's a little more frosted. Okay, that's pretty good. There you go. Okay. So, in. This is the critical part. Make sure that these right here stay folded inward as you bring that corner over. Okay, then just kind of grab a hold of everything and gently roll forward. Roll forward, roll forward. Roll forward, just kind of keeping everything tucked in. Roll forward. Wet that tab really good. Okay, just like that. Roll forward and we're good. Okay, so we've got 4. I think you get the idea, or at least you should. So I'm not going to continue the next 15 minutes making the remainder of the egg rolls. All right, so let me get just kind of organized here for a quick second. Okay, I've got my oil and I've preheated it. I started on high for about 10 minutes and then I reduced it down to low. Now you may not have a thermometer to check the temperature, but if you've got, let's say a little bit of breadcrumb, okay, and I just pull little breadcrumbs out of my cupboard. You can take a couple little pieces of breadcrumb, okay, and just kind of drop them in. And if you see them fizzle, and come right to the top and turn brown without burning, okay, you know they're done. The other thing you can do as well too, you can take an egg roll, place it in, and see if it bubbles, okay? If it bubbles, like it is there, we know that our oil is hot enough, and it hasn't burnt, okay? So I'm gonna put 2 egg rolls in. Very carefully, I always wanna go away from myself when I place the egg rolls in. And now I've got my heat, and again, my stove, I know how it works, so it kind of runs a little hot. I've got mine about 3/4 off, so it's only about 25% juice. And all I'm doing now, as far as, sorry, not juice, but you know what I mean. It's on low. Matter of fact, I can go ahead and I can afford to turn it up a little bit, because when I put those egg rolls in, of course, that drops the temperature a little bit. But once I get it to that proper temperature, go ahead and move the camera a little so you can see. Once I get it to the proper temperature, it should maintain that temperature just fine. And make sure, folks, that you put this, if you can, okay, on the back burner. We don't want anything up front where some little one could possibly or potentially reach up. So be, again, very, very careful. So we're gonna go ahead and fry these a little more. My oil got a little cooler than I would like, but that's okay. You know, I can just turn up the heat a little bit, and certainly, you know, cooking it a little more isn't going to hurt. Especially since it'll heat that filling up nicely in the inside, okay? So let's go ahead and we'll take one out, kind of take a look at it. We're getting there, not quite. It's still a little blonde. I'd like to get a little more golden brown of a color on there. So we'll go ahead and continue to fry those. Be very careful of splatter. You may want to have a long sleeve shirt on. I have my chef's jacket on, so and once I actually start to hear it kind of popping a little bit, I know that the inside is now starting to get hot, and that cabbage is starting to cook into it a little more. So we're getting real close to taking these out. I have increased my heat to now 50% because it did lower a little bit. And I also know that I'm going to be putting 2 more in here in just a second. So I'd say these are getting real close. Okay, got a nice kind of color to them. But I'll give them just another minute. But I'm sure you can hear now, they're really starting to pop and sizzle. So that tells me the inside is getting nice and hot. All right, so that one I'm gonna go ahead and take out. And I'm gonna drain it and put it on my paper towel. This one I'm gonna go ahead and take out as well too. And drain it on my paper towel. And I want to also salt them just lightly with a little bit of salt. And that was just a little half pinch of salt. But those look great. Those look really, really good. Okay, so I'm just gonna give that just a minute to 40 seconds to just kind of come back up to temperature. I'm gonna turn my heat down just a tad. And I'll test. Well, again, I can just take. Okay, so I don't know if you can tell, it's kind of sizzling a little bit, so that's good. So I'm going to put that in, and I'm going to put that one in. And then I immediately want to make sure they don't stick to each other. Oh, no, 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 no. I had one come apart on me. Not good. No bueno. All right. Well, that happens. And if it does, there's nothing you can do about it. So I'm going to try to put it in. And I'm going to just hold it in place to see if I can't get it to just kind of stay together. Which I doubt if I'm going to be able to. But there's a good example of making sure I didn't have that tab wet nearly enough, and it kind of opened up on me. So learn from my mistake there, okay? And make sure that those tabs are sealed well, otherwise it can open up on you. And it will open up on you, as you can see. So nothing is a guarantee. All right, so I'm going to leave those in. Meantime, I'll just kind of wipe down. Okay. Got my egg rolls over there. Now, when you guys get ready to do this, you're not going to make 4 egg rolls and fry them, and then make 4 egg rolls and fry them, and then make 4 egg rolls and fry them. You're going to make all your egg rolls. You're going to make all of them at one time, okay? And the nice thing about the egg rolls is they can actually be placed into the refrigerator and fried later. So it's not, you know, a matter of, oh, I have to fry them right now. I'm just doing this in this sequence so that, you know, I can save you guys and me a little bit of time in regards to, you know, making hour-long video on how to make an egg roll. Because we still have to make the soup, which we're going to do as soon as I'm done with the egg roll demo. We're going to get into the hot and sour soup. All right, so as you can hear, it's starting to crackle and pop, which tells me that the insides are starting to get hot. Be careful at this stage. All right, that's nice. That's the one that kind of opened up on us a little bit, but we were able to salvage it. So that's going to go over there. And that's going to go over there. And then we will hit them very quickly, like I said, with just a little bit of salt. Okay? All right, I'm going to turn off my fat and allow it to cool. Wipe down my station. Okay. All right, and when we are done, I'll try to get out of the light. Those are our egg rolls, and they look fantastic. So, that is how you prepare your egg rolls from start to finish. First part of the video, again, was mise en place and preparing of the filling, and then the second part was, of course, assembly and then frying. You should have, as I mentioned, enough filling to easily make between 10 and 12 egg rolls. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop for now and get myself cleaned up, and when I get back, we will do the hot and sour soup.